Hey everybody, it's Tatiana, and today I am coming with a book review, and I am reviewing The Immortal Rule by Julie Kagawa. This was part of my library haul, which I titled my, not for the video, but I said in the video that it was my hyped up YA library haul. And I got a whole bunch of YA books that I heard a lot about, and so I went ahead and got to check them out because very seldomly does my library have all the first books in a series, especially a YA series, in stock at one time, and a lot of them were there, so I went ahead and grabbed them. I had heard a lot about the Immortal Rules, and one of the first things that I said when I picked it up and actually got it home and looked at it was that this is much bigger. It was thicker than I expected it to be. I flew through this book. I wasn't thinking that I was going to really enjoy the story. I thought it was going to be good, but it was going to be, you know, predictable and the same kind of, or similar to a lot of other YA vampire stories that I have read, even though I've read a lot of different takes on the vampire situation. I expected it to be pretty much in that same vein, and it is not. And I flew through this book. I read it in 3 days, and that is 3 days while reading it after I got off work and in between work and The Big Bang Theory. The main character in the story is named Allison, and basically it is her story. There are some other characters in the story that she comes in contact with, but it is from her perspective. This is her story, and it is a time way in the future, after this virus has basically or mostly obliterated humanity, and the U.S. is like a continent of ruins, and vampires rule the night. And there are humans who are registered and unregistered, and registered humans serve as blood banks for the vampires, where they have to go and donate blood so that the vampires can eat. And then of course you have your pets and all of that situation going on. And Allison is an unregistered human, meaning she lives on the outskirts and attempts to evade the vampire-led society. And that all comes crashing down when she wakes up a vampire. And that is part of the blurb on the story, so I'm not giving you any different information than what you can read on the jacket or on the back of the book. And so it is her story as she goes from human to vampire, and learning to be a vampire, dealing with being a human who hated vampires, who becomes a vampire, and what that means for her, what type of vampire she wants to be, and the relationships that she develops and destroys as a result of her decision and her journey, as she goes from where she lives to across the U.S. And it is I really enjoy stories. That's one of the things that I liked when I read Aragon, and it's one of the things I liked about especially the first Twilight story. I really enjoy stories that are a journey, where you're learning, the characters are learning about their situation or the people that they're involved with as they go. And you get to read the story and get that journey and participate in that with the characters. So even if it's something that you have already heard or you may have experienced, you're seeing it through their eyes and how they experience it, and you take it from their perspective, not necessarily your own. I really enjoy those kinds of stories, and that's exactly what this is. This is her journey from human to vampire, and everything that it entails, and what she encounters along the way, and how those situations and those people and those encounters change or develop the type of vampire that she is going to be. This is a series. The second book is out, called The Eternity Cure, and I am going to be continuing with this series. I think the third book comes out sometime this year. This is my first Julie Kagawa story. I loved it. I was not expecting to like it at all. So to have flown through it at the time that I was reading this, it was just what I needed to divert my attention from some things that I was dealing with. I love this. So if you have not read it and you are looking for a quick read, it is 430 something pages. I think it's 438 pages, but it goes so quickly. If you're looking for something that's fast-paced and enjoyable and good, I would definitely suggest reading The Immortal Wolves. I totally was not what I was expecting it to be. I actually put this on my TBR list shortly after I subscribed to Chapter Chicks. And one of the girls from Chapter Chicks, I'm spacing on her name right now, but she adores Julie Kagawa. And she kept talking about her, kept mentioning her name. I said, okay, well, I'm going to check something out by her just to see what it's like. And I found out that this was about vampires, and I love vampire stories. So I put that on my list. And I'm so glad that I did. It was absolutely worth the read. So, yes, this is hyped up for a reason. It's that good. So that is all that I have for my review. I hope you all have a good weekend whenever you see this video. Peace out.